What's going on, everybody? It's me again, Go to Blue Dude. And if you haven't already, go ahead, hit that like and subscribe button, get it out of the way. Full disclosure, this is another West Virginia video. I know, it happens. So for West Virginia fans, thumbs up. For the rest of y'all, you might want to skip it. You're more than welcome to watch. I'm just letting you know. So, y'all should know me by now. I breathe West Virginia. So anytime there's a press conference or a player interaction or anything like that, I am all over it. So I watched the press conference with the coaching staff at West Virginia today, and I'm hearing some good stuff. Look, whenever Dana Holgerson and his staff would have a press conference, it was very vague and very, I don't know, robotic almost, it seemed like. So the press conferences with Neil Brown and his coaching staff is very detailed and very emotional and very intense. I loved hearing some of the stuff that they said today. So a lot of things that they're working on right now as far as defense is repetition and almost muscle memory, because West Virginia is going to be doing a lot of zone defense this year. And whenever you're running a zone defense, it's more about knowing where you're supposed to be than pure athleticism. Yes, athleticism helps. We all know that. But when you're in zone coverage, it's all about knowing where you're supposed to be and knowing how to react depending on where the ball goes, in front of you, to the right of you, left of you, behind you. You have to know how to react. And you have to create that repetition and that memory. So, hearing that, I was like, man, spot on. And then hearing from the offensive side, where they're saying, you know, the problem with last year in our running game is the running backs were trying to see the whole field. And if you're athletic enough and you can miss tackles all over the place, sure, that's fine. But if you're not, then you have to focus. And so what they're working on this year is shrinking our running back's vision. And you immediately saw that in the first game. What does that mean? That means focus on, number one, grabbing the ball. But once you grab that ball, going where the play tells you to go. Trusting your offensive line. Yes, plays are going to break down every now and again, and you're going to have to make a play. But for the most part, you have to have a connection with your offensive line, know where you need to be, and know where they are supposed to be. And you're seeing a lot more chemistry. In that Eastern Kentucky game, like I've said this many times, I know I have, but they got that initial push and then moved on to the second level. We didn't see any of that last year, and that's why our running game was horrific. So we are moving up in leaps and bounds in the running game. And as far as the quarterback goes, he is very confident. The coach says, you know, his leadership is unparalleled, and he has command of this offense. He's not guessing and hoping, okay, y'all know what to do. No, he's like, y'all know what you're supposed to do. I know what I'm supposed to do, and I'm going to get you the ball. That's his attitude. And if he does make a mistake, short memory. Get rid of it. And that's exactly what we needed. So, Jarrett Dagey, I have full confidence in him and the offense. We have a very deep wide receiving core. Not worried about that at all. First game, Dagey was spreading it out. 10 different receivers. He was the second highest rated quarterback in that particular week. But as far as the press conference goes, they picked out the little things that last year we were lacking on because they were coming out of a coaching regime that was not disciplined. I mean, eventually stuff comes out, and it's coming out. They were very undisciplined. Dana Holgerson, he's a great offensive mind. He really is, but he's not good at the fundamentals. That's why he would probably be a better offensive coordinator than he would a head coach. He's not good on the personal level. He's good on the plays, you know, designing plays and all that stuff. But once, you know, if you don't have the athletes to back up that system and you don't have the discipline to fall back on, well, you saw West Virginia over the past 8 or 9 years. That's what happens. So expect West Virginia to take a major step forward this year. So our first big test is on Saturday in Stillwater at Oklahoma State. And the line opened at 9.5. It's shifting downward. So now it's at 8.5 in favor of Oklahoma State. I would take those points all day long. I wouldn't be 100% on picking the actual upset, but I do think there's a good chance. I think it's going to be a close game, and I think if we do what the coaches have explained that we're good at doing, then yes, we should win the football game. We are very well disciplined. If you watch the Oklahoma State game, they got some issues, especially on the offensive line. They got some big issues on the offensive line. And one of our strengths on defense is our defensive line. So if we can take advantage of that situation, West Virginia is in great shape to pull the upset. And I think it is very possible. We just got to limit our mistakes. And the big thing that I'm looking at is special teams. We have to learn to cover punts better. You can't go through a game without punting. Even the great teams punt it at least once or twice a game. And whenever you do, you got to have that coverage. Same with the kicking game. You got to cover them lanes, not miss tackles. So fundamentals. And Staley has got to get his confidence up. Missing a 29-yard field goal is not going to cut it. So maybe Sumter can add a little more competition in there. And coach, I know you're loyal, but if Sumter's better, you got to put him in. Whoever has more confidence will be the better kicker, because once you miss one, it starts getting in their head. Well, I missed one. I don't know if I can make this one. And then it just snowballs. And that's the same way with the quarterback situation. That's why Kendall's out, Daggy's in. We're in good shape. And I'm still sticking to my 6 to 7 wins. Outside chance of 8 wins. Depending on this Oklahoma State game, I'm really interested. And a bold prediction hinges on this game as well. One of my bold predictions was that West Virginia would crack the top 25 this year. This is the chance. And if they don't do it here, it's going to be really tough for that to happen. So I'm looking for it to happen now. The upset is possible. I'm going to have an actual score prediction and all that stuff a little later on in the week. I just wanted to share my encouragement and excitement on what I heard in the press conference today in the interview. So if you haven't already and you're a West Virginia fan, go check it out. It is great. That's all I got for you for this video. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on my next video.